And it is Black Friday. I'm just going to mute you guys out. I think I can do it on here. Mute all. It is Black Friday. And my name is Tony Cohen. I almost forgot my name. And I'm an independent promoter and a pro champion with the company Pruvit. And today we are welcome from Alaska, New York, PA, somewhere else. I don't know. Just type in on the stream where you're from. I'm not sure where Pam's from. I'm not sure where Kay Jones is from. So, pattern language. What does that mean in self-taught? So, I've been working on this for decades, and I've seen some of it replayed by BU when he speaks. And one of the key components to self-talk is how we ask ourselves certain things. So, what I would like you to do, who knows what the most common question you're asked every day is? Type it in the stream. So who gets it? Most common question asked every day. You get it right, I'll send you, yep, Kay Jones gets it. How are you? Or how you doing? Now, this doesn't really apply in New York City or Jersey, because you're not actually using it as a question. You're not waiting for a response in certain places, which is odd pattern language if you don't understand it. How you doing is a statement, not a question. How you doing? By far and away, can anyone guess what the most common answer to that is across the board? How you doing? Anyone want to type it in? Okay, it's not even that good. It's less than that. The most, by far and away, about, again, it varies, depends on where you are. Just before we were recording this, we were talking about seasonal, what we call it, seasonal depression, SAD. So the general answer that's used most is not bad or not too bad. That's the most frequent. Now, if we look at something, has any of you guys heard of something called cybernetics or psycho-cybernetics? If you have, just give me a thumbs up. So psycho-cybernetics is something I spoke on for years, and it was founded by a guy called Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And it's hardcore science. It's the forerunner and a more in-depth look to. Anyone know what NLP is? Anyone give me a thumbs up for NLP? Neuro-linguistic programming, which is a lot of Tony Robbins stuff. Like a bunch of you guys have seen Joseph McClendon III, or Jarek I do some work with. And neuro-linguistic programming, psycho-cybernetics, is basically the programming of the subconscious brain. And it was tripped across by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, who was a plastic surgeon, when he was finding out he was doing surgery on people, and when they looked back better, they didn't have the disfigurement, everything else started changing, the posture, the way they talk to themselves, and he discovered this science. The challenge with the subconscious is it doesn't understand the word no, don't, can't. So when we say not bad, or not too bad for the enthusiastic ones, when we see that or hear it, our subconscious only hears bad. So if someone is answering that not bad, and they're getting asked it even 10 times a day, they're actually self-talking themselves into feeling worse without realizing it. And this is actually going to be part of our call to action today. Now, I know Tony Robbins uses the word wonderful, full of wonder. Mine's fantastic, has been for years. How you doing? Fantastic. Now, when you say that with conviction, and it could be anywhere, like, and I've been doing this for forever. I'm like, how you doing? Fantastic. Why? What happened? Nothing. Just feel fantastic. And you'll actually get a response from people that they could be having a poor day. However, your response to that question could change their mindset and their day. Yesterday, I was doing the homeless thing, and feeding the homeless, and I get chatting with these guys, and the word homeless has a stigma about it. And this one guy said, I don't see myself as homeless. He said, what was the word he said? Misplaced on my path. And I went, wow, the self-talk. Ironically, talking about it today, I learned a lesson yesterday from a guy that's misplaced on his path. And also, homeless is kind of a place. He's on his path. He knows he's not going to be there forever. So I've got a real good lesson on that. Now, you can choose whatever word suits you. And we're going to wrap it with the call to action at the end. I use fantastic. And generally, if you keep telling yourself stuff enough, good, bad, or indifferent, we start to act upon it without realizing. So one of the things I've seen BU do, and again, it's reposturing a question. If you ask someone, how do you do this? Let's say, what would you do if your car broke down right now? How do you change a wheel on your car? And they go, well, I don't know how to do it. So if you did know how to do it, how would you do it? And it's reposturing the question. And I've seen this happen, if ever you remember this at many of the events, BU will do it with people when they don't, or if they freeze, when they don't know the answer to someone. Yeah, but if you did know the answer, how would you answer it? If you did know the answer, what would it be? If you do know the answer, how would you explain it? So this is a Tony Robbins technique. Now, I'm going to get very specific here because Nick Couch asked me to. And this is about a phrase which to me is like nails down a chalkboard. Anyone know what the phrase is? Nick does. And if you're on that multipliers group, you'll see me mention it numerous times on comments. So when I see something on, let's say, Facebook, and someone's like got the shaker bottle and, hey, who wants to be on my team? To me, that's vomit. Like, why would I want to be on your team, number one? Number two, that's very egocentric. And if you think about that, it becomes them. It's pattern language because it's been used in the industry for years, and it's pattern language. It red flags. So where we're at with this, and Nick basically said, it's done subconsciously, without realizing it. I'm not picking on Nick, so I've seen other people do it as well. Number one, as we all know, our community is one team. And I first heard Matt Beal speak about that on stage when he became a legend. First guy to do it. And someone said about your team, I said, I don't have a team. We're all one team. And everyone on this call should realize that. We do events right here in San Diego. And I've had people ask me, am I okay to show up at your event? I'm not connected to you. I said, of course you're connected to me. I'm always connected to everyone. Bring as many people as you want. I know, Nick, you've been teaming up there with Laurie on some events. So collaboration is currency. There's no my team. Now, also seasonally, if you look at where we're at right now, January 1st, actually the week between Christmas and New Year's is pivotal. What we're creating now will build the foundation for that. And what we know, the three biggest things every year for humans on New Year's, what they're called, resolutions, get in better shape, make more money, and the third one that people don't realize, find a community that supports the first two. So, we know how to get in better shape. We're all doing it. Even after yesterday. Dawn made me eat an entire turkey yesterday. And some wine, maybe. And, it's that time of year where traditionally, it doesn't matter what study you look at, X amount of weight is gained between Thanksgiving and New Year's. There's a reason for that, and it's seasonal. It's because when we were hunter-gatherers, the genetics is we'd store more fat when there was less berries on the trees or no berries on the trees and less animals to hunt. It's genetics. Now, so we know how to help people be better. That's what we do. We also know, and if you're on this call, we also know, and we're all learning how to build a business that might put a couple of $100 extra in someone's bank every month. Now, the golden figure with the income side of things, there's no income statements made here. In surveys done, they've found that as little as $400 per month can make a massive difference to every family in the Western world. Not thousands, 400 will ease the grocery bill, will ease the bill. So A, we know how to be better. B, we have a business model that absolutely works. C, instead of using the word my team, I know some of you have done this, I've seen it. I love our community. Huge difference. It's gone from egocentric, my, to our. Join our team. I have a wonderful friend of mine called Bobby Capuccio, and Bobby works with a lot of top tier trainers around the world. And when I was getting him started, and he called, I think it was Charles, he called somebody else. And he said, would you mind if I joined up under them? I went, no, absolutely not, Bobby. Like, do what's a fit for you. Anyway, and that's exactly the answer I wanted to hear. And because of that, he fits in the community. So we're switching it, I hope you got this one, Nick, from my team to our community. It's not about me, it's about our community, it's about all of us. And I'm just going to sidetrack onto a little story about this. Does anyone know who Jack Welch is? Just type it in the stream if you do. Anyone? Nope. So, Jack Welch, that's it, Nick's got it. Chairman of GE, General Electric, who at one time were the most valuable company in the world. And Jack Welch's name is all over it, and his picture is everywhere, and he's wrote books. Does anybody know who James Sinegal is? So James Sinegal is the co-founder of Costco. Most people don't know who he is because his picture's not everywhere. He's not egocentric, ego-driven. Now, over a 20-year period, the stock market, I can't remember the exact words, the stock market rose 600%, as did General Electric, rose 600% in value. However, Costco rose 1,200% in value, and yet no one knows who runs the place. And that's the same kind of energy that we have. So changing the pattern language from my team to our, you could use organization, but I prefer community because people want community. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's, you know, your church, your soccer moms club, wine club, let's say, like all times. I mean, we have loads of community events here that I've even been asked, like, is it all about Pruvit? No, it's a community. Like, we're going for a hike to a farmer's market to learn how to shop keto. Oh, we're having a coffee morning. Little things like that. So people love the community spirit of it. So if we can shift our pattern language on that, that in itself will make a huge difference. Now, we have certain habits that are ingrained in our subconscious. You've basically got to force it to work. So what do I mean by force it? It's if you want to get asked all day long, how are you doing? How are you? Whatever the terminology is where you are geographically, how are you doing? If you want to get asked that all day long to practice, what you need to do is ask other people, because what generally happens when we ask someone how they're doing, they generally respond in kind. I'm doing great. How are you doing? Fantastic. It's the same. I've spoken about this so many times about replacing that word but with the word however. Does my ass look big in this dress? No, not at all. But, oh, does my ass look big in this dress? Not at all. However, I think the straps would be better the other way. It's just simple terminology. And the however, and I know Dawn has been practicing this, and I now and again will catch someone out on purpose. Brian James is someone else that's working on this one constantly. The but is excuse-based, however is reason-based. So, where are we going with this one? It's a habit. If you catch yourself using the word but, you can reverse it, however, and you'll even catch me on some of my videos. Now and again, I catch myself doing it. So, how can we force this habit? And this is all going to circle around into one thing. Most common question we're asked every day, how you doing? So in order to get more of those back, to practice and use the muscle of habit, the more times we ask it out. Now, it depends where you are. If you are in your car driving all day long, you're not going to meet many humans. For me, fortunately, I don't drive, so I meet people all day long, just random people walking dogs or whatever, and I always have a conversation. How are you doing? Great, fantastic, wonderful. So by forcing ourselves to answer it very specifically, and it needs to be one specific word, so it reinforces the habit. We cannot create a habit. We can only change one habit for another habit. People stop smoking, they replace it with eating or various things. So choose a word that suits you, that you're comfortable with, that doesn't sound contrived and fake. Could be anything, just one word. And practice it for a month. What words have you guys got? So Dawn, fantastic and wonderful all the times. Make such a dining my own addict. I don't know what dining's got to do with it anyway. And Laurie sent me a gift, but I can't read it. So it's habit forming. We're going to exercise the fantastic muscle. We're going to exercise our community. And it takes one lunar cycle, 28 days, to form a new habit, to change an old habit to a new one, for it to become subconscious. And when it's subconscious, you don't think about it at all. It will appear. And I'm going to see most of you guys in Phoenix anyway, if not some of you before then. And I will intentionally try and catch you out on purpose when you're not expecting it. And that's the best way to do it. So I think we pretty much got it. Something else on pattern language. One final thing. I work with a guy called Brennan, who Brian's worked with him as well. And Brennan is like me, high school dropout. However, if you speak with him, you would swear he was educated in Oxford University. And he's been the CEO of some public companies and all the rest of it. I remember when Brennan was 18, he would learn a new word every day from a dictionary. He'd just open a dictionary randomly, find a word that he wasn't familiar with, and he'd kind of add it to his repertoire. And he may still be doing that. I've not spoken to him for a while. And all of a sudden, he became this elegant, or eloquent, I should say, speaker, not elegant. I'm awesome. Huge shift. Yeah. This self-talk of I'm awesome, I'm fantastic, wonderful, all of the above. Right, so we have been on here for 20 minutes. And I think these, I feel these are about 20-minute calls. Can someone give me a thumbs up on that? Is that correct? Or is it longer? Okay, I can go a quick few minutes longer. So something else I just caught myself there. Thanks, Jess. There is something to be said. Does anyone know what flow states are? Is anyone familiar with that term? Flow states. So in the excellent book, The Rise of Superman by a good friend of mine, Stephen Kotler, and he also wrote, what's the newer book called? Stealing Fire. And a lot of what they speak about is about special operators. And he also talks about these, I think called wing divers and certain things, or teams of cyclists operating by flow. So if you don't know what that is, and Stephen runs something called the Human Genome Project. So this is real cutting edge human performance type stuff. And a few years ago, I don't know if any of you guys have heard of something called Landmark Foundation. I think it's Foundation. And they teach about consciousness. And there's, what's the other guy? Joe Dispenza does similar stuff. I did a mastery on another course called Avatar, which is similar again. Taught to operate by feel, not by thought. And Mike Rutherford talks about, you know, do it with your heart, not with your head. Or, you know, that term, go with your gut. And if you actually look at the science of that, I believe it was Dr. Andy who said it on stage, where your gut is your second brain. And there's lots of science behind it that creating things like the serotonin, the happiness drug, 90% of it is done in the gut. So when the gut's right and we feel happy, we can create serotonin, dopamine, which we all have a dopamine addiction. We like to feel good. Okay, got it, Nick, thanks for that. So, one final little one. You've got 3 things here. How are you doing? How many times a day can you get that question out? And like verbally, not just typed. And also, my sidetrack here, communication is 7% what we say, 37% how we say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. 55% of communication two-way street is physiology. Have you ever been on the phone with anyone? Just give me a quick thumbs up. Have you ever been on the phone with anyone and you know they're just like slumped and lying down in bed? You sense it? Yeah, you know. So with terminology, pattern language, it stems from physiology. If you ever watch, there's been a couple of these where BU's interviewed Dr. Dominic D'Agostino. And Dr. Dom, if you know him, he does something called stacking when he sits. If anyone's familiar with stacking, it's basically aligning your vertebrae up. So your neck is above your seat bones. And Dr. Dom was like that, and BU was kind of like that on stage. And the teleprompter thing, Nancy was telling him to sit straight. It's noticeable in our language. 55% is physiology if we are slumped. It's like one of the reasons I do all my videos walking around. I've got some movement already going on. There's physiology. By the way, guys, don't do videos sat behind the wheel of your car when you're driving. Like, just don't. So I've gone off topic a little bit here. However, just to reel it back in, so we've got how you doing? See how many times a day you can get that out. Alter your response and force it for 28 days to whatever pattern word suits you best. This is your call to action. And what was the final thing? Final thing there. Operate by feel instead of thought. And we're upping my team to our community. What will happen is if we all do that combined, others outside of our community will start to notice the energy shift. And if you post my team on your Facebook, I'm going to give you some different pattern language that your kids probably won't appreciate underneath it. Let's get in the habit. So guys, that's what we've got. Thank you so much for joining. If you're watching this on the live, we've got where you guys are at. And if you're watching it on the replay on YouTube, just tap in on the stream where you're watching from. And if you feel bad, tap in the temperature. It's chilly here. It's 66. I'm going to put a hoodie on. So guys, from sunny La Jolla, thanks for watching, and I hope this was beneficial for you guys. All right, stop recording.